All right, so right next door is this military museum. It's literally right next door. It's right here?
No, right there.
Oh. Ooh. Hello. It's nice and cold in here. Oh, look at that. Got all the old uniforms.
Hey, nice run. Okay, nice to have you. Yeah, feel free to
local.
look around,
Hey,
take pictures.
how you doing?
Anything, let us know.
All right. Sweet. How long you guys been open?
Since 2003.
2003? Nice.
Yeah.
Old uniforms, different styles. Mm-hmm.
Were you in?
I was in the Air Force.
What years?
I did 20 years, so 90s until 2016.
Did any tours overseas?
I just went TDY to Greece and Germany and stuff like that. And then Japan and Iceland.
Okay.
Donated. Are you guys looking for anything specific for donations?
Just wherever you're willing to hand over. I mean,
Yeah?
a little mix of everything here, and we try to emphasize on that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Test set fuse junction box.
And stuff from the old Norton Air Force Base that used to be active here.
Yeah.
From, I would say, like...
They closed in the 90s, right?
In the 40s until 1993,
Yeah.
That's when it was deactivated. Now it's been converted into the San Bernardino International Airport.
Yeah.
Another old one. Are some of the old apartment or like housing buildings still standing, or did they start tearing them down?
I think they.
I think they're still up there.
There's
The
a
old,
handful, but a lot of
yeah.
it's torn down because I think they're converting it to like a logistic airport / distribution center. So.
And I just remember that place. Well, not when it was open, but the last decade. For context, I was part of a historical reenactment group, and we have events all throughout the southern.
This is what I used to wear. Well, I still kind of wear it right now.
Major event of the year, and
Flight suit.
we're first Second World War, so our urban combat was rented in that area. Yeah, so I
I know
remember.
they filmed Jarhead up there, I believe.
San Bernardino veterans.
Buildings, but I don't know if they were planning to.
Like these pretty cool uniforms.
But I know there was this elementary school there, but I don't know.
I just know that I've been there so
I have
many
this
times
one in
already,
my house.
Became familiar with which parts of that little residential area were choke points. You did not want to.
Oh.
Didn't want the opposition team to set up their defensive
That's
perimeter.
awesome. Are you guys still doing that?
That's
up there or
it.
no?
I don't think in a long time, not anymore. I think it's. I think the people who own the property jacked up the price of it, and we decided not. We'll just look elsewhere. But yeah, trust me.
You're
When
not
the Bruins have a
forgotten.
good MG42 in a good place, it's really hard to get through any of those areas.
Buffalo
Within that cone of
soldiers.
fire.
Nice.
Yeah. So is this museum, is it run by volunteers only, or?
We're kind of a mixed bunch, but yeah,
Old
mostly.
badges.
Well, I get paid for the company.
Gotcha.
Jack, my curator's to an extent, and Arthur is just somewhat. He's kind of the gray area one. He does get paid, but not directly from like I do.
Okay.
But yeah, we all start at one point.
Yeah.
Well,
A10.
Mario, our curator,
Nice. Just top
he's been here since the beginning, communist era, when it was Carpathia that was ruling the country with an iron fist.
Yeah.
And then some people from Ukraine, Russia, Belarusia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, who had some family members, mostly their grandparents, who fought when it was the Soviet Red Army during we know it's the Second World War, but they call it the Great Patriotic War.
Omaha Beach, nice.
And then yesterday I had a gentleman he's from Germany.
Yeah.
Kind of a irony twist. He is Fallschirmjäger when he was in his nation's army, which is like the German paratroopers.
Yeah.
But his grandfather was also a Fallschirmjäger, but during the Second World War. So basically you have two family members who were both in the same outfit.
Wow.
Except one was basically of the early days of the unit when it was actually battle tested. Fortunately for Germany, they haven't been directly involved in a major war since the Second World War.
Yeah. Have you said you've only been stateside? You've never been to like Germany or anything like that, have you?
No.
Okay.
Let's just say my career was cut short for reasons.
Okay. Nice.
Now, if things went on, the unit I was attached to usually routinely do, because I was on a reserve,
Yeah.
they would actually do a summer stay in Germany, but I didn't get to that point. Let's just say there was some complications.
Okay. Mike Tinker, Rialto. Wow. Yeah. The Air Force needs to change their service blues, though.
Hmm?
The Air Force needs to change their service blues. Because,
It's a branch next to the Army where it's constantly changing.
yeah, at least
the
the
same.
Army, they changed theirs service dress several times. The Air Force, they haven't since, what, the 80s.
Well, the Army as well. They went to originally the olive drab to the dress blues,
Yeah,
which I feel personally is a cheap attempt to try to mimic the dress blues of the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Even though, aesthetic-wise, it's supposed to be inspired off the old cavalry blue uniform of the Civil War era. But I am more of a, probably because, like I said, my hobby growing up.
Yeah. What were you saying, babe? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Redlands. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Glad to do that.
Well, the Air Corps, when it was the Air Corps, even to the start of the 60s, wore the pinks and browns just like the Army did because it was left over from when they were part of the Army Air Corps. But by 60s, that's when they introduced kind of like that variant of the blues.
The blues.
Honestly, I find that to be more refined compared to how it is now. Like I said, the Marine Corps and the Navy are the two branches where their dress blues are just they're the only ones that have not really changed.
Oh, look at that chair.
In the last 100
Wow.
years. I mean, there's some minor tweaks,
It's an
but
old
not
chair.
too noticeable. Like for the Marine Corps, they added that. By the turn of the century, that's when they start adding the red line on the side of the pants. Because it was if I remember the story correctly, it was a symbolic reminder
Desert Storm.
of
The Desert Storm
massacre of
uniform.
several Marines that were captured during the Filipino
Had a set
American
of
or
those.
South American War, one of those conflicts. Yeah, where they were brutally executed. So it was a reminder. It was a symbolic reminder of the.
So as far as tour groups, do you design if there's a tour group coming through, or?
As long as we get a heads up, that way we can at least plan it out and accommodate. Like I said, we like to accommodate, and we don't like it when they kind of show up out of nowhere where we don't know how to accommodate them.
Airborne. SR-71. Oh, cool. Nice. This is the second building here. So you got your Air Force, the Army uniform, Air Force uniform.
That's my curator. It's a 1953 Jeep from the Korean War. This is our recent addition. It came from a Andrew Vu. He was Airman of the Year in 2009 for the 35th Security Force. Yes, Security Force Squadron when he was stationed in Japan. And this was the award for that. Well, it's the katana, but on the other side of the
Oh,
katana,
look at
it
this
has
uniform.
printed 30
Wow.
SFS for Security Force Squadron.
Security Force.
Yeah. He was also stationed in Afghanistan here in 2 Purple Hearts during his tour.
He looks familiar. Andrew.
He looks like Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when he came here too, he was one of those where his father, as I was mentioning, his father was a captain or colonel in the South Vietnamese military.
Yeah,
And because of his
Air Force
rank
Security
and
Forces
status,
Squadron.
he was able to get
2009.
what's the one I'm looking for?
Right out.
Yeah, he was basically given
Look at that camera.
the privilege to
Whoa.
evac when the country, especially when Saigon was besieged.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, these are
his
big
son,
cameras right
which
here.
is Andrew Vu here, was basically end up serving in the U.S. military.
So he was born here though?
I believe so. Is the
Okay.
story? Yeah, but like I said, his father was originally from the South Vietnamese military
Yeah.
during the Vietnam War.
Now what was his Purple Heart for? Do you know?
Uh, Not off the top of my head. I mean, there's a little disclaimer in the top,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Right,
basically, I
seems-
know he got from his tours in Afghanistan.
Gotcha.
I don't know how he got like that. There we go.
Jefferson.
There's a, I don't know her name, up in Victorville.
American soldier.
Curator, but during one of those events downtown, we had stopped by, and she was the wife, or is the wife of, I can't remember his rank, out of George, so she had all these collections of her husband's service. But I think
Oh,
she
that's
was
pretty cool setup.
kind of get overwhelmed, you know, with running the plays and things like that. She didn't know, and she was having to she somehow coordinate or.
If you have a name or a contact, I would definitely
Yeah,
like
I'll
to
have to
reach
get
out.
it for you.
Yeah. Before you leave, I'll give you our business card, so that way, if you get contact, you can forward it to us.
Yeah.
All the coins
As
are
far as I
different.
don't know, if she's open every day or she's just, you know, open once a week or what her new schedule is.
Oh, that's pretty cool uniforms. That's old.
That's all local money.
Yeah. Wow. That's nice.
Well, white, which is the same thing with related to also kind of
Right.
related to dolls, is white was always the color of sanitation.
Right, but it's just so.
Act of vengeance,
Right.
they were retaliation as a result of the actions Germany committed when they were in the Soviet territory.
Yeah.
So, but
Uncle Sam.
Soviets were not dumb to know that, especially with the tensions of the Cold War, they needed something to act as a buffer. So they needed the East Germans to be organized into a military as well.
Mm.
The problem is because of the lack of industry that was being taking its time to rebuild itself compared to how
service
rapidly it was in the
mistress.
West.
Look at that.
The East German military was forced.
That's what I wear for military dining-ins and military balls
in
and
the early
stuff.
years and recycling them, stripping all the Nazi affiliation off them and replacing them with the new symbols
Model
of the
airplanes.
DDR. Yeah, eventually they would start building up their industry where they could start pumping out uniforms.
Still
that
amazed
are
with this
similar
thing.
design, but of newer material.
It's pretty cool.
To at least replace some of the older stuff.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some of the older uniforms would prevail.
Right, so that was the military museum. That was a pretty cool thing. The IE Military Museum, Inland Empire. So it's a pretty cool stop, you know, if you are ever in the city of San Bernardino, check out the museum.